Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we are going to do Mind of Natrum Carb, and the theme is needs just one relationship and is very dependent on one relationship, without which she feels tremendous fear, sadness and a sense of isolation. So natrum carb is a salt belonging to sodic miasm, and in the natrum element we see a marked desire to form and maintain a relationship, especially on a one-to-one level. So this is brought out best in the delusions of natrum carb, delusions division between himself and others. So it is this tremendous need for a dependence on the relationship that makes them very vulnerable to hurt. Natrum therefore develops a fear of people and tries to avoid contact. While on one hand she tries to avoid company, she also dreads being alone. So company averse to, yet dreads being alone. So the theme of the carbonates is that of fear of death with a need for a vital reaction in order to survive, as suggested by the rubric starting from fright. So thus the main theme of natrum carb is of a vital reaction needed by a person who is alone, that is without a relationship on a one-to-one level with another human being. His forsaken lonely feeling gives rise to the two basic feelings of natrum carb, which are boredom and apprehension. So the boredom produces a melancholic, sad, despondent mood and the anxiety with regard to the future. So natrum carb is very sensitive, especially to the separation from the beloved and to the breaking of relationships. When the beloved is not there or has gone away, the patient shows great sadness, reacting to sad music, especially that from a piano. So they desire to make contact but have been unsuccessful in forming relationships and blame themselves for it. So delusions he cannot succeed, does everything wrong. So they become estranged from their family and friends and bear their grief silently, feeling forsaken. The natrum carb woman feels like an outcast and is always at the receiving end of the abuse, offended very easily. She feels that society has gangled up in order to perceive her, making her feel she is abnormal and not a part of the group. So natrum carb people can have a sense of inferiority complex, especially in the sphere of forming relationships. They may feel unworthy of love or of any relationship. So I have found in natrum carb a history of disturbed relationships with one of the parents, especially being forsaken or neglected by a father or mother. A woman may give the history of having been neglected by her father in childhood. She then develops a fear of people and a sensitivity to certain people. So she reacts to this kind of behavior with quarrelsomeness, anxiety, and courage. She becomes suspicious, violent, indignant, imagining herself to be sick and seeing no hope in her no win situation. Therefore, she is inconsolable. She becomes sad and weeps, and in extreme cases, can become indifferent and suicidal. In this no-win situation, there is anxiety about future. She is confused, and this confusion gets worse by dwelling on the problems. So there is dullness, prostration of mind, indifference, discouragement and despair. At such times, she will avoid the sight of even her intimate friends. However, she may turn to a sympathizer for support in the form of being magnetized. As she feels more and more isolated alone, she becomes avaricious, developing a fear of robbers. All this naturally keeps her in a discontented, uncomfortable, sad state. There is also the vital fear seen in starting at a slightest noise, fear of all mankind, fear of thunderstorm, and fear constant of everything. It is interesting to note that natrum carb does not have any fear or delusions of animals. She is only afraid of people. Natrum carb is afraid of the human quality of forming a group and casting people out if they don't feel into the don't fit into expected norms of the groups. So natrum carb people are normally quite independent and self-sufficient, living their lives alone, though having good contact with others. They are social and can be loquacious and vivacious. I have found them to be organized, very sincere, honest, straightforward, non manipulative people with strong principles. They can be resolute, self possessed, and courageous. They are very responsive to music, sensitive, and refined. They are sympathetic and help others, sensitive especially to the sufferings of people who are lonely and forsaken by society, for example, beggars. They can fight for others. On the other hand, they can be quite quarrelsome. The dream of Natrum Carb includes dreams of danger, of robbers, of murderers, of water and flood, while the pleasant dreams are of marrying two women, of parties, of entertainment. The pleasant dream shows that the patient is setting up relationships and having good contact with society, whereas the anxious dream shows the fear of death and fear associated with being lonely. Thank you.